D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? So I just finished the latest episode of Picard, season 2, episode 3. And I have to admit, this episode was a little boring. I think that they did their time jump, that we knew they would. And, this isn't new to Picard, new to Star Trek, them, time jumping and everything. It happens, kind of all the time a little bit. The one that I can think of off the top of my head is there was one from Voyager. It was like a 2-parter. It had Sarah Silverman in it, and they jump back to the 90s and everything. So this isn't new to Star Trek. And another YouTuber had mentioned that because I had said that they're just repurposing, First Contact and Voyage Home, and then so the Mirror Universe episodes. And they were like, that's not new to Star Trek. And I was like, you know what, you're right, it's not new to Star Trek. They have done it plenty of times before. So I feel like the first 2 episodes were to set up that new future episode with Q and everything, and then this episode was set to set up going forward in these past the scenes in this episode and everything. So I was just it's not that I didn't like, I don't want to say I didn't like this episode. I don't know. I'm so like weary on liking Star Trek Picard because season 1 was just so bad. It was god awful. And this season so far, it hasn't been bad. And like some of you have brought up in the comment section, which I'm sorry I haven't responded to any of those last week. I just I've been, I had to work doubles all last week, and then this time change thing, daylight savings time has really messed my stuff up, I'll tell you what. But anyways, so this episode wasn't bad, but it was kind of boring. Like, it was just like, I feel like it was just set up for all these taking place in the past episodes. In saying that, I'm still willing to give it a chance because, it feels like they're just ignoring season 1, which is probably the best choice, just to ignore it. Cause listen, if you liked season 1, that's all on you, but it was bad. It was just bad. It was, you gotta admit, it was bad. Okay. In saying that, I do want to get started on this breakdown and everything. But before I get started, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm, and small channels like mine, we always get shoved to the back of the line. So I please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. So now let's get started on this breakdown. So it starts off, if you remember from the last episode, that what was this guy's name? The administrator husband guy, the assistant. He beamed on the ship and shot Eleanor. And Eleanor's just sitting there lying on the ground and got shot in the shoulder. Can you die from getting shot in the shoulder? I don't know. I'm not a doctor, obviously. I don't know much about the body, but I thought, like, are there vital organs in your shoulder? Or did he, you know what? He's Vulcan, so maybe his heart's in his shoulder. I don't know. Maybe Vulcan anatomy is different. I just, as far as humans go, I thought you can die from blood loss. I want to just say that I don't know all this 100% because I'm not a doctor. I don't want to give out medical advice, but I do. You can die from blood loss. I'm factual on that one. I'm as far as the shoulder goes. Anyways. So he's all like, you're traitorous scum or whatever. And the president lady, 7, she jumps in front of him, or Annika. She's like, what are you doing? This is a top secret mission that I'm conducting and you're getting in the way. And he's all like, prove it, honey. What's my full name? And she's all like, crap. So then they start fighting. They blasted disintegrate any of them, which I'm like, why didn't they have their guns on disintegrate when he shot Eleanor? Like, anyways, kills all those dudes. And then Eleanor is just bleeding out. So they get up to the medical bay. Sorry, I'm yawning. I don't know why. It's the time switch. It's ruined my life. Anyways. I literally the past 3 days have slept all day. That's why the content has been a little shaky. I've been so tired. I don't know if you feel that way. Anyways, so then they're trying to find stuff. They're like, get the gauze. That'll stop the bleeding or whatever. That's what makes me go, if you didn't bleed out, what did he die from? Like, I mean, I don't know the logistics of the medical part of this stuff. I'm just asking questions. So then Rios is trying to fly away, but there's 3 ships following him, and then Q is all like, you see, Picard, Jean-Luc, what does he say? You never know where this will take you, or some crap like that, and everything. And you know what? He's like, you know what, Q, and then Q disappears. So then what's her face is still trying to hook up the Borg Queen and everything, and she does it, but the Borg Queen like falls over. And then these ships are still, they end up shooting one of them, like this one or whatnot. And I don't know if they destroyed it because it blew up, but they didn't. They were like, neutralize it. And I'm all like, I think neutralize just means like take it down, but don't kill it. But I'm all like, if they're like a fascist like Earth, then just kill them, because what's the point in keeping them around? So anyways, so the thing knocks over. Now this part I think is my favorite part, because I really liked it. It was very horror movie like and everything. So I was like, oh, this is good. I like it, because the Borg have always been kind of scary, like very horror-esque, like very Hellraiser type, like, to me, just with with mechanical stuff, although they have done some mechanical stuff in Hellraiser. Anyways, so this seemed very horror movie-esque. So she gets up, but she looks over, and there's the Borg Queen. She's all like, and she's like crawling at her with just her hands, because her legs is all that little like electronical spinal cord. And I was like, ooh, this is good. So that part I did like. I'll say that. That was probably my favorite scene and everything. So she like crawls towards her, and she picks up a crowbar and everything, and she's all like, oh, don't worry, dear, I'll do it for you. And then she like, does this thing, like hooks her up, and it brings her up and everything, like it's like a cross kind of thing, and she's like taking over the ship, and she blasts those other 2 vessels or whatnot, and then they fly past the sun, and they use the solar flare to then jump into time, and Rafi's all like, I got you, baby boy, and everything. I do not like Eleanor, so what happens to him, I did not have feelings over, like bad ones. So then she zaps him back into the past, and they're at Earth 2024, which is only like 2 years away. Or maybe a little less than 2 years. Anyway, so they're all like, ooh, sorry. So they're like all scanning the Earth and everything, and the Earth is all beautiful and stuff, I guess. Earth is beautiful. It's a beautiful land. And they're sitting here, and they have to land, but not gracefully. And I'm all, why? Like, why does it always like a crash? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it's because the La Serena is a small ship, but whatever. I don't like the La Serena. I don't like that they do this thing where they're like, all right, and turn to your left, turn to your right. I mean, if they've done that in Star Trek, I don't remember them doing that in Star Trek. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Anyways, so Eleanor's all like, hand me my medal. I got a medal in my backpack. Hand it to you. And then so they're all like, yo, the Borg Queen is she's powered down. Why am I yawning? And so she's still trying to get this whole thing. The Borg Queen is trying to save herself, kind of thing. So she gets gosh, if I could speak right now, she gets she's taking power from the ship to try to power herself up, and it's taking away life support from the rest of the ship, aka what's Rafi can't fix Eleanor. So then they're like, we need to destroy her. So then Rafi's all like, come on, you got this, I'm gonna save you and everything. He's like, get my medal. So she's like, oh, it's beautiful, and he gets a medal, and then he dies. And so then she's putting him in the morgue, and Eleanor's not dead, by the way. He'll come back to life. That's how Q will snap his fingers, and Eleanor will be back to life. I don't know why they keep Eleanor in the show. I didn't like him in season 1. I don't like him here. I wasn't sad when he died. I'm like, goodbye, gone. It's the same thing with Soji. They put her in episode 1 to show to show that she's still there, but I don't need that character ever again back in Star Trek Picard. So they're sitting there, and Rafi's pissed, because she's all like, oh, you saved that Borg Queen and everything. He's like, I know how you feel. She's like, you do not know how I feel, because I have no faith in leadership. I mean, she says other things, but I can't remember exactly what she says. She's like, I have no faith in your leadership. Okay. And so then they're like, okay, we need to figure out what's going on, kind of thing. And the reason they didn't destroy the Borg Queen was because they need her to take them back to the future when all this is said and done, after they just, do whatever they need to the Watcher, whoever that is. And they're like, we need to figure out what's going on. So we're gonna they go up to the bridge. Hold on, I'm trying to remember what happens here. I don't remember what happened here, what they said, but they need to get the Borg Queen up and running. And the doctor who killed Maddox last season, just want to point that out, she's a murderer. She's all like, she's in there and she's repairing herself, but she's trying to speak, but she can't speak because she's kind of down a little bit. So she's like, what if I hook up into, she's like, what, we need somebody to hook up into her. And he's like, well, I can't do it. Picard's like, I can't do it because if I do it, she'll be able to take me over like that because I was Locutus. She would need somebody that's not been Borgified. And the doctor's all like, I could do it. I haven't been Borgified. He's like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because she could take you over hardcore fast. And so they're trying to figure stuff out on what's going on. And Rafi figures out they need to go to this tower. It's the tallest building in LA, and they need to scan so then they can figure out where the Watcher is. They're gonna look for technology that's like beyond this timeline. So then she's like, put on clothes that don't look like they're from the future. They somewhat look like they're from this thing, and they find very good clothes. I'm all like, that's interesting, but whatever. And he's just making me look like a fascist bastard. And she's like, a fascist? No. A bastard? A little bit. And he's like, She's looking at her face because she doesn't have Borg mods. And Rafi's all like, just like something, I can't remember, something about how like you never called kind of thing. And so the doctor's all like, I'm gonna do this. Like, this is how we're gonna figure it out. This is how the Borg Queen's gonna get up and running, and this is how we're gonna find the Watcher so we can change everything and go back to normal. Oh, and beforehand they were all like, Q might be able to change things back. And she's like, could he bring back Eleanor? And I was like, of course, Eleanor's not dead. Eleanor's not dead, even though I wish she would stay dead. So then they're like, we're gonna zap you as close as we can to that tall building they were talking about. I don't remember the name of it. It doesn't even matter the name. It's in it for like 2 seconds. And so they zap all of them away. And then she's all like, I need to get into the Borg Queen. He's like, all right, let's do this. So he plugs her in and she's all like, and everything. And she's all like going through the Borg Queen's mind as the Borg goes through her mind kind of thing. So then in LA, they zap there and Rafi zaps into a little homeless place where there's like a homeless people. And then Seven teleports in front of this little girl. She's like, are you a superhero? And she's all like, can you keep my secret? She's like, yeah, I'll keep your secret. And then Rios, he teleports in midair and falls like 2 stories and lands on the ground. And he does a weird like fake flip. You know how it is where you're like this, and then you like, and everything. You're like, people don't fall like that, dude. People don't fall like that. I hate when movies do that and TV shows. It's like, I don't want them to like just drop somebody, but people don't, when they're falling from 2 feet, they don't flip weird like that. But it's fine. It's fine. So he gets taken to this clinic and they're like, he said, no hospital, no police. And she's all like, okay. And he drops his badge. But then downtown, Rafi's going through this homeless encampment, and this guy puts a gun in her face. He's like, give me your wallet. And she's like, oh yeah, money. And then she takes him down and takes his wallet and takes his money. And she's like, you've already started hurting people. And she's all like, you're not contributing to the end of the world fund and everything. And she's all like, listen, this is before bad things happen. We need to get to that tower so we can, get out of here. So back on the ship, she's all like, she's going through my mind and everything. And she goes through she's like, oh, she's at the humor room and everything. And then she's all like moving on or whatnot. And she's all like, oh, she's really, really strong now and everything. He's all like, you need to get out. You need to get out. And he goes to, because she says network functionality is 89%. So he goes to unplug her and she grabs his arm and he's like, whose hand is grabbing me? Is it yours or hers? And she's like, it's mine. And then the Borg Queen's all like, it's mine. And I'm all like, okay, this is annoying. And then he unplugs her. So then the two ladies, they get to the tower and they go inside and they're going to go up and everything. But the security guard drops up and stops them. And he's like, hey, this building isn't for civilians. It's for personnel only. And so Seven is all like, hey, this one of the security guards, the big guy, the fat guy, and he's like, Kevin. She's like, Kevin, he let us up on the roof for our first date and we just got engaged, so we wanted to take a picture to kind of like memories and stuff. And you don't want Kevin to be the fun one, do you? And he's all like, I'm way funner than Kevin. And she's like, oh, thanks, these. And she's like, usually people don't like me and everything. I'm like, yeah, because you got a friggin' machine in your face and you're usually cold and heartless. So then Rios is getting bandaged by this doctor. And she's all like, you're, illegal because you don't want us to get a hold of the cops or the hospital, which is, he's not illegal, but, it's 2024 in this one. And she's all like, so she's like, I get it. I'm not going to charge you kind of thing. She's like, I do need to reset your hand because it's been dislocated. So she's like, tell me your fondest memory. And he's all like, when I was young, my mom worked at the academy and I snuck into the simulator and all these bells and whistles went off. And I thought that I had broke it, but really I had gotten the top score. And I'm all like, of course you did, Rios. Everybody on the show was amazing from the get-go. So she resets his hand and doesn't let him finish the story, but she's like, cool story. So then doesn't that look like the Pepsi logo right there? So I'm all like, is it the Pepsi building that they went to? I was like, huh. I was like, I didn't research it. It doesn't matter. I mean, but I was like, huh, that would be kind of fun, but whatever. So then they're up at the top and she's like, look, it's already started with the fires and everything. Soon there'll be no water, no breathable air. Humans are destined to die and everything. And I'm all like, okay, calm it down, sister. And they get a blip on their little, I don't think that's a tricorder. It doesn't look like a tricorder on their cell phone. And then and she's like, oh, it went away and everything. And then they get Rios's badge. And she's all like, it's not too far from here. And this little boy is playing with it. And he's like, hey, buddy, I need my badge. And he's like, finders, keepers. And he's like, stealing is bad. And he's all like, what do you want for it? And he's all like, I could just take it. And he's like, but then that would be stealing. You said stealing's bad. And I just want to be like, kid, you can't steal your stuff back from somebody that just took it and everything. That's not stealing if it's yours. Duh. So then he grabs some cookies off top of the fridge, which I'm like, that kid could have totally got those cookies. I'm sorry. Like, kids are resorting. He's like, it's just peanut butter. It's real peanut butter. So good. I'm all like, stop. But I'm like, whatever. He's like, I'll give you this whole plate of cookies if you give me my badge. And his mom grabs him. She's like, I don't think so. And she takes the badge and she's like, go do your homework. And she's all like, your badge will be up front. Put your clothes on. Don't steal anything. So in the back of the ship, the Borg Queen, she's like, hello, Locutus. And she's like, I missed you kind of thing. And he's all like, he's basically like, tell us where the Watcher is and when this whole thing happens. Cause she's like, I know when it's going to happen and who the Watcher is. And she's like, why don't we make a deal? I'll tell you, but you got to give me your ship. And I'm all like, first off, you asked for the most important thing in this world. How did they get back to where they're from without this ship? I mean, I'd be like, no, that's okay. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out ourselves. So then back at the hospital, he's all like, can I have my badge and everything? And then the cops show up and everything because they're looking for illegals. And they're like, oh crap, get everybody out and everything. And while I head him off at the door. So then the Borg Queen's all like, he's like, no, I'm not gonna negotiate with you. You're a crazy person. Crazy Borg. He's like, doctor, are you okay? And she's like, yeah. And she's all like, I'm the only one that knows where the Watcher is. And she's like, do ya? And then she's all like, what did you do with it? Because she's like, you took it kind of thing. And she's like, yeah, computer. Where's the file stuff I stole from the Borg Queen? And she stole the location, the coordinates of where the Watcher is. And she's all like, yeah, and everything. She's like, you did something that you shouldn't have done ever. And she's like, what's that? She's like, impress me. And then she's all like, crap, maybe I shouldn't have done that and everything. So then he's like, let's get away from her as fast as possible because she's crazy. Then back at the hospital, Rio sees the doctor trying to stop the cops. She's all like, I don't know why you guys come in here and threaten everybody, yada, yada, yada. And he's like, yeah, I know you've got illegals and everything. And Rios comes in, and I didn't grab a screenshot of him, but he tries to pretend to be a doctor. And he's like, I need help with this patient. And they're like, hey, how'd you hurt your hand if you're a doctor? Looks like more like you're a patient. It was a little like, okay, but whatever. So then they put him up against the wall, and they're like, we need to see your ID kind of thing. And they're like, you're going in. And she's like, hey. And then he's like, and so are you for obstruction of justice kind of thing. So they arrest the doctor and Rios. And then as they're leaving, his badge is sitting on the counter, and he's like, Rios, where are you? And he's like, Rios, come in. And then that's where the episode ends. Now, like I said before, I don't want to say this episode was bad. It was a little boring just in the sense that like nothing like overwhelmingly exciting happened, in my opinion. But it wasn't to where I go, this show is horrible. It's not like Star Trek Discovery is horrible. This show, I think, is at least trying now to fix season 1, which I personally appreciate. I'm happy that they're trying to fix it because season 1, listen, again, if you like season 1, I don't understand you. Season 1 was not for me. But if you liked it, good. I'm happy that you can like it because I personally was just like, oh, this season is a complete abortion. But I'm the reason I'm skeptical on this is because of season 1 and the fact that new Star Trek, it's just let me down way too many times for me to be gung-ho about it. But I will tell you this, they keep doing a couple more episodes that are more Star Trekian, like maybe this episode and the past couple of episodes, and they might turn me. Like I'll say 2 more episodes where it's like, because like I said, this episode was a little boring, but it wasn't bad. But that scene where the Borg Queen's all like crawling towards her, that was pretty good. I was like thumbs up to that. But yeah, those are my thoughts on this episode. Like I said, I'm just cautious about this season, about anything Star Trek these days. I'm just cautious. So, I mean, yeah, but that's my breakdown of this episode and everything. Tell me what you guys thought about this. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you think that Borg Queen crawling part was like horror-esque and it was your favorite part, or what was your favorite part of this episode? Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys next week on my Picard breakdown and review. You guys have a good week. Live long and prosper. Bye.